Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk. I've been speaking to interns on the phone trying to find people for the summer. And I met this one girl who had this confidence about her. And at first I wasn't sure. I was like, is this girl full of herself or is this confidence? I'm so confused. And then I realized that she genuinely believes in herself. And because so few people genuinely believe in themselves, it's hard to notice. When someone thinks they're awesome, we become skeptical. We think they're full of themselves because we're so not used to seeing someone who genuinely likes who they are. So I thought, I need to talk to this person further. So I asked her to meet me for coffee, and she did. We sat and talked, and I finally said to her, okay, listen, you're young, 22, 21? How is it that you are so comfortable with who you are? Like, I feel like I'm 85% there, but I'm 38 and put the work in. This chick is like a spring chicken. She said, she taught me something invaluable. She said, my inner critic was my worst enemy. All through high school, she said high school was the worst time of her life, but not because anyone actually did anything to her, but because she had created a world in her own mind where nobody liked her. She showed up at school every day believing that everyone was talking about her, nobody liked her, which made her withdraw and become antisocial. So people began to think she was weird, which only played into her weirdness, etc., etc. She said, I spent 4 years in high school alone. And she said, and then I went to college and decided, she had a great professor her freshman year, and she took his advice where he said, you are what you think you are. You will become what your thoughts allow you to become. So she thought, well, what if I think I'm awesome? What if I think I'm awesome? So she said, she set out into the world thinking she was awesome. So I've been thinking about this girl because I thought, isn't it amazing if it was only that easy, right? Like, I think I'm 10 pounds skinnier. I think I'm 10 pounds skinnier. I'm not 10 pounds skinnier. But that's not it. That's not how it works. It is believing truly that I could be 10 pounds skinnier if I wanted to be. That those pounds are not so insurmountable that I can't get over the hump, that I am not destined to be overweight forever. And I'm using that as an example, so don't comment, Jamie, you're not overweight. Thank you. But that's what I'm just using it as an example. We have to start by liking ourselves, by really liking ourselves. Because here's the truth. No bolt of lightning is going to come down. No miracle, no big act of God is going to come down and change us into who we want to be tomorrow. Okay? If that was the case, then 13 years ago when I decided to become a nice person, I would have just woke up a nice person. I've been working at it for 13 years. We have two choices. We can love ourselves or we can loathe ourselves. Those are our two choices. Our inner critic is our worst enemy because she sees the worst in us. She's going to point out every insecurity before anybody else can point it out. See, she thinks she's protecting us, but she isn't. She's hurting ourselves. And just notice her or him. When your inner critic starts to talk, acknowledge what he or she is saying, but know that doesn't have to be your truth. You see, my inner critic told me forever that I wasn't worthy of real kindness. I had been bad for so long that I didn't deserve real kindness. So what was the point in extending it to others? Nobody would ever extend it back. She was wrong. She doesn't say those things anymore. You see, change Put the work in to become who you want to be, and your inner critic will eventually change her tune. The other thing that I think we all need to remember is we all have bad days. All of us. Every single person listening to this video right now is going, yes, oh yes, Jamie, I have had many, and you will have many more. Life will never be sunshine and rainbows. But the beautiful thing about life is the sunshine and rainbows always come again. So it is how you deal with the bad days. Don't allow your inner critic to convince you that the bad days are happening because you're not worthy. See, that's the trick. The bad days happen to everyone. So let's say I want to be more like Becky. I believe my life will be better if I'm more like Becky, if I look more like Becky, if I have the marriage like Becky, if I have the children like Becky, or the job, or whatever. The truth is, bad days happen to Becky all the time. I was a bully, and I had terrible days. Terrible. I am the new me, working on myself every single day, working to bring people together, to love people back to life, to love people for exactly who they are, and I still have bad days. I have days where I cry more than I smile. But I don't let my inner critic convince me that it's because I'm not good enough, because I'm smart enough to know now that everybody has bad days. And listen, you have to believe you're worth it. And as you start to really believe that you are worth it, you may have to analyze the way you allow other people to treat you. And you may determine that the way people treat you is no longer good enough for your awesome self. Then you know you're on the right track. If you don't like the way people are treating you, ask them to change. Be brave enough to say, this behavior doesn't work for me. I love you and I want you in my life, but your behavior doesn't work for me. And if they won't change, then you change how much you see them. I don't care if it's your mother. I don't care if it's your identical twin brother. I don't care if it's your husband. If the way they are treating you does not support your awesome self, they got to go. You determine what. See, the one thing we've learned through Coffee Talk is the only person we can control is us. We control how we see ourselves. We control what we are willing to put up with. We control what we want to surround ourselves with. And if your circle gets smaller, that is okay. It just means you may be decreasing the quantity, but you're increasing the quality. And that is the way to support your awesomeness. Because I'm telling you, I read your comments, I look at your profile pictures, how cute your kids are, all of it. You are awesome. If you weren't, you wouldn't be here. So, you say who, you say when, you say how much. Tell that inner critic to shh while you're working on your awesomeness. I love you today. Have a great day.